So today we're going to walk through the entire booking process on the Parkdean website, step by step, as if you were booking a real Parkdean holiday.
We're also going to show you how to save money, where the extras appear, and also what options are available to you.
So if you're booking your first Parkdean holiday, or you've booked before and just a bit unsure, then this should really help.
So here we are at the Parkdean website. It's parkdeanresorts.co.uk, and on the surface this page is really straightforward. If we give a little scroll down, you'll see some offers they've got for half terms, but just be aware that these are starting prices and probably not the final amount that you'll pay. If we give another little scroll down, we've got all-inclusive breaks now at 42 parks, which is actually a really nice touch for Parkdean. And they also have some discounts on certain parks for different lengths of time as well. So as I said, it's really important not to get attached to any of these starting prices, because the chances are it will change as you go through the booking. So if we continue on now, I'm just going to select Find Holidays. And it brings up all the regions where they have their parks. Now this is where most people start to feel quite overwhelmed, and it's choosing the park itself. Parkdean has a lot of parks across the UK, and the same dates can be very different prices depending on where you choose. So from here, I'm just going to select all to give us the all-rounder and to give you a better picture. I'm just going to select 4 guests for this and leave all these unticked, so all the options are going to come up. Now, depending on your dates can make a huge difference to the prices, as I'm sure you're aware. So half terms and weekends are going to be more expensive than midweek breaks. So just for this, I am going to select 3 nights, and I'm going to choose this weekend in May, just to show you. Now, because I left all the options unticked, it's got 64 holiday parks available. Now, if you're not familiar with Parkdean, this can blow your mind. There are so many options. So to narrow it down, you can also click on Map View, and this will bring up all of the parks across the UK that are available for those dates. And if you zoom in, you can see there's 5 in Essex, for instance, and there's 10 in East Anglia. So I'm just going to select East Anglia, and then it brings up the exact locations of all these parks. Now, our favourite park is Kessingland Beach. It was the first Parkdean we ever went to, and to be honest, we just keep gravitating back to it. We think it's great. But obviously there's so many to choose from, it's really hard to narrow it down, especially if you're not familiar. So all I do suggest is do your research, search it up on YouTube, search it up on the internet, look at the reviews on TripAdvisor, and really get to grips with what you're trying to book, because the last thing you want to do is book something that looks great on the surface, but in reality it's maybe a bit run down or a bit dated. So you want to make sure it's right.
So we're going to click List View, and then we're going to find our holiday park that we would like to go to. Now in this case we're looking for Kessingland Beach, and there it is. So we click View Accommodation. Now this is probably one of the most confusing parts of the whole booking process, especially if you've never stayed at the holiday park before. You'll see there's different accommodation types. So we've got bronze, silver, gold, and in some cases we've got platinum as well. Now the names sound straightforward, but they don't always tell the full story. Cheaper accommodation can mean older caravans, simpler interiors, or in actual fact locations are further away from the facilities and amenities. More expensive options are available, and generally they're newer caravans, not a lot nicer inside, and like I said before, closer to the amenities and the entertainment centre. So as you can see, this is the top one here, which is gold. Really nice inside, really well decorated. Now the cheap ones, so the bronze ones, doesn't often mean that it's bad. However, you should look at the photos and look at the description itself, so you're not disappointed when you actually get to the park itself. It's much better to understand what you're booking now than be disappointed when you arrive. So as you can see, I've selected the silver one, £336 from £371. So there appears to be a nice little promotion there, saving you probably about £35.
So this is the part of the booking where a lot of people get caught out and extras start appearing. For instance, it's just asked me now, do I want to add decking for £95? Now, decking would be lovely in the summer, absolutely beautiful, sit out with a cup of coffee. But for this day, I'm going to say no and continue to check out. So this is my holiday summary and it says £336. So there is a promotion, so I've saved £35. And here are where the optional extras start coming up. Now, some of these are actually generally helpful depending on your situation, especially if you have young children and you know you're going to arrive early. You might want the priority arrival. So you can come in from 1 p.m. rather than 4. Now, on our experience, we've landed at a Parkdean at 2 p.m. and actually managed to check in. And we did not select priority arrival. So again, I think it depends on how busy the park actually is and whether they've got round to turning over the caravans in time. But if, you know, for peace of mind, if that is important to you, that's quite worth the £39. Also here you've got cancellation cover. You get a refund of up to 80% up until the day before your arrival should anything happen, which means you can't attend your holiday. Now for £29, again, I think that's really good value. Everyone's different. We don't usually go for the cancellation cover, and we've never needed it in the past. You also have other extras like a baby cot, so it saves you having to take one with you, or a high chair. And then a lot of caravans are pet friendly and it's £49, and you can add up to 2 dogs, which I think is really lovely to bring your dog along. So it's really important to realise that these are all optional, and if you tick them all without thinking, the price can increase very quickly. I'd recommend stopping here and asking yourself what you actually need rather than what the website is encouraging you to do. So usually we don't select any optional extras, and we would continue to party details. And there's our summary. So £336, I've saved £35, and then here's where you just go into add in all your details, add in all your party, and then that continues onto the payment page.
Okay, so we've put in all our party details and we've gone on to the next page, which is your holiday summary page. So this is the final price that you'll be paying, which is £336, and you've saved £35 there. Now this is the number that you should be focusing on, not the price that you saw at the very start. There's also an option to put a promotion code in. So for example, if you've got some sort of blue light code, you can put that in there, and again that will take the price down a little bit more. So here you've got different options. You can either pay the full amount, which is £336. Once you've paid that, that's your holiday booked and paid for completely. You can also pay by instalments. So you can put down £25 as a deposit, and then you can set up a direct debit to pay monthly. And your last option is to put down £50 deposit and then pay later. So you have to pay the full balance before 8 weeks before you go, which in this case will be the 13th of March, and your final balance will be £286 after you've put down the £50 deposit today. So it's really simple options and really good. So we're happy paying the full amount today, which is £336. So this is your final payment page. So as you can see, we've selected pay now, and the full balance is due, which would be £336. And then you just add your details in, add your debit card details in, and away you go.
So to be completely honest, we find some of the options really helpful, but some options, in our personal experience, we've never needed. For instance, the priority arrival, we managed to get in at 2 o'clock last time we came, but we've tried it a number of times, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you're paying £29 for checking in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, where normally it's 4 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But like you say, you know, countless times we've gone there at 11 o'clock. The kids have had a mess about in the playground, etc.
Yeah, we've had a look in the shop. We've explored the park if we've not been to that park before. You know, it gives you an opportunity to do that, and kill a bit of time, have a bit of lunch or whatever.
Have a little mooch around, and you know, it gets to 1, 2 o'clock. Go and see reception staff. They're really friendly and say, "Look, is my caravan ready?" And 9 times out of 10 it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's worth just trying your luck, especially if it's only a few hours before the check-in time. You might as well, in our opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing was, if you know, with the high chair and the cot, for instance, if you've got a large car and you've only got 1 or 2 children and you're able to put that travel cot in your car, 100% do that.
Yeah, you're saving yourself £15 per
Same with the
item.
high chair.
So,
like, you know, it's silly to pay for that when you could just bring it with you. The other thing was cancellation cover, wasn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, you're paying a small fee, so you know, we were talking about this earlier, actually, weren't we?
Yeah.
And if your holiday's, you know, £100 or £200, you're paying whatever it is, like £29. That's quite a large chunk of what you've already paid for. So if
something, weigh up if it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly that. So is it worth it? For that price, I would probably argue no. But equally, if you're paying, say, £800 or £900 for your summer holiday, £29 is probably worth doing.
And I would probably put that on as an extra, just for that peace of mind. You know, should anything happen and you can't attend your holiday, you're going to get a big chunk of your money back.
Yeah, so it's certainly worth considering, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah. 100%. So I really hope this walkthrough has made your Parkdean booking process less stressful and a lot clearer for you.
If you want us to do this walkthrough on another Parkdean park or even Haven, just let us know in the comments.
And if you're new here, we are the Wilmores on Tour!